Are you running multiple construction projects with a small team? Well, it sounds tough, and it is, but here's how to stay on schedule, not lose your mind, and control quality. So, Irfan, what's the first thing that you can do to stay sane running a ton of construction?
I think the first thing you have to do is figure out a way to reduce the amount of phone calls, right? So for me, I was pretty much the oversight guy, and I wanted to reduce the amount of phone calls. So how do you do this? I think you do it by building a system, right? So an easy thing that we implemented was checklist. So the use of a checklist allowed us to communicate to the contractors what we were looking as a final product. It allows us to communicate to leasing some key items that we need to note on leasing, like square footage, gas, electric. It allows the person ordering appliances to note whether the range is gas or electric. And it allows a good communication on the actual project, where it stands, after you run the checklist a few times as well. So I think the checklist is the most simple example of how we built our system, right? We created a system around a construction checklist. We even converted it to Spanish so contractors would easily understand it as well. The other thing we did was we created almost like a centralized documentation place, right? So we had a list of subs, we had list of templated documents that we would use. For example, our 1099 construction contract. We would use that consistently, send it out through Dropbox and Dotloop, and basically you doing those small things saved us a ton of time.
Yeah, and budgeting too.
Yeah. But budgeting. So we actually pulled our budgeting materials from draw schedules of different banks and lenders. So they've already thought it out. They utilize multiple different lendees, and we utilize their draw schedules to help us build our a system, and we kind of use that going forward as well.
Yeah, so we have budgeted, templates for budget, templates for punch list. We have templates. We already have kind of the general plan from the architect. We got them printed and all that stuff. We also had, what else? We had budget, punch list, draw schedule. So everything was, copy paste. Obviously you have to change it to adjust the numbers, but as much, even when we were doing finishes, we would come up with a template for buying appliances, what paint colors to use, trim, flooring, everything we could possibly automate and get together, so we didn't have to think about it too much, or at least start from scratch. We didn't want to start from scratch, have things written all over the place, and then that causes miscommunication if things aren't organized. So
doing it one time and sharing the templates within our team really helped us out a lot. So couldn't say enough about checklists too. Definitely, if you're running construction without checklists, without runners doing the checklist, I feel like you're wasting time. So definitely get that in order.
Yeah. Second thing that I wanted to talk about was meetings and accountability. So having a team huddle around construction and only including the key people that need to be on the meeting. But also, if there was an overall general team meeting, whoever was that construction person can bring that knowledge to the overall meeting to keep everyone informed. But having, whether some people have daily huddles with the construction team, it's really just super important to have that communication and keep people on schedule, and also make sure that the construction people are keeping their vendors and subcontractors on schedule as well.
And don't forget, sometimes construction is on the field running around a lot. So just having these weekly meetings allows everybody to be on the same page. And sometimes we can get our notes in our system a lot easier, right? So for the whole team to understand. So I thought that was very important for me when I was running around, just to communicate with the team what's actually going on if I didn't have the chance to update the notes. So
Yeah, that's always a struggle with construction teams, is updating notes of what's going on, issues, taking photos. Where do the photos go? I have people texting me photos, then I got to save them in a folder, or share them with you. It's a struggle, but if you can get everyone on the same page, or if not, at least have a system to streamline what's coming in and who saves what where, then that makes it easier on the team. But
absolutely.
I do understand that it is tough with everyone, especially when you involve more and more
Yeah.
people on the field. They just don't have the time or the inclination to use some of the software. So it's an uphill battle for sure.
Absolutely. And being on the field, you see a lot of things that need to be done. You see a lot of things that need to implement. So just being on the phone is necessary at that time. So just making sure that you have everything up and ready to go is also very important. I think that brings us to our next topic, number 3: choose the right projects to overlap. Right. So I think a lot of this has to do with money, profit, but it also has to do with construction. And I almost believe it's a little bit easier for us because our acquisition prices were super low, right? We were buying properties for 40,000, 50,000, 60,000. So we could actually let properties sit, and we could determine what the best use or the best way forward was based on just construction. We didn't have to worry about buying properties that were $500,000-$600,000 and $50,000 and just focusing on 500,000 because that's a better use of your funds. We could just solely focus on what the best use of projects were, what the best scheduled timeline was, based solely on the construction timeline. So we would try to avoid multiple framing projects, multiple foundation work, multiple projects that require foundation at the same time, because those subs were doing foundation subs. We wanted to bring them from one project to the next rather than just getting them backed up in 4 multiple projects, right? So we would try to timeline it. We would start this project on this month, wait a month, start this other project, and we basically bring one sub to the next, to the next, to the next. And it was almost like they knew what job they were working on. They were confident they had work in the future, and we didn't have to worry about being too busy. And I say that with the disclaimer: there was instances where everybody was too busy, but we could more allocate their time appropriately by scheduling projects almost to start month away from a month away. And of course, you do have inspection concerns, you have delays, you have, and when we were building during COVID, we had material delays. So that brought an extra hassle, extra hurdle to our projects that I mean still go on today. Material delays still go on today, but I think that COVID era really taught us to really schedule as much as possible and as clearly as possible going forward.
Yeah, for sure. And that brings us to our next topic, which kind of relates, but it's your tech stack that you use to keep you lean, right? So what does that mean? I know that's all jargon, but it basically means using software to eliminate the use of people where the people don't need to be involved. So instead of having maybe a full-time construction manager, which we really didn't have, we had you, who was by far the most knowledgeable about construction, managing it from afar, because we're able to get you updates from someone in the field. But that person in the field wasn't working full-time on construction either. They were doing other things like showing properties or doing visits, putting lock boxes on things. So it was sort of a group effort. And the only way you can do that is you keep it organized, keep everything in a project management system. There's a lot of good project management systems out there now. You can use something like Asana, which is one of our clients use. It's very inexpensive, just something to keep everyone on the same page. And that's really important because you don't want someone sitting at a job site just to hang out and kind of overlook. Now, if it's a proper, if it's a proper GC or proper construction manager that's has their hands on everything and is actually fixing stuff, that's one thing. But if you just have someone kind of supervising that may or may not really know what's going on, and they're overlapping work with the people that are just sitting behind the desk, it's not really a good use of their time, right? So you can use software, you can use communication channels, group chats, things that aren't just email or phone to get to communicate between teams. And that really helps you lean out your employees and the amount of employees that you need to deploy.
And sorry to interrupt, but I think that's our topic, communication, right? So over communicating with clients, with lenders, making sure that everybody has the most up-to-date information there is, right? Lenders require photo evidence, they require inspection, and sometimes with cash flow, you need to get draws quickly. So having that communication with the runner, with the project manager, in this case it was me, and then with the lender, if you can minimize the time period in that route, you can get your draws maybe a day or two faster than you normally would, right? So again, number 5 was communication is absolutely necessary. We even utilize group text. I guess there was Google Meet or Google Hangouts at the time. I forget what.
Yeah, Hangouts.
It was Hangouts at that time, but yeah, we utilized group Hangouts for a lot of our communication with construction. And then the pics and videos, like we all have this thing in our hands, which is mine has a bear on the back, but we all have this thing in our hands, which is a superpower in its own, right? We can take crystal clear photos, we can take crystal clear videos, and we can send it.
Well, some people can take crystal clear photos. A lot of people,
contractors cannot. So
a lot of people are not good at taking crystal clear photos.
So for whatever reason, contractors are not able to take photos timely. So that's why you need the runner, unfortunately, to make sure those photos come to the project manager, come to the main guy timely to make things happen and keep moving forward. So that's 5, but you had a 5th or a 6th, right?
Well, I just wanted to chime in and say that maybe I'll do a separate video on this. We now have voice, text, and software like Loom to send quick videos. I think that's going to be huge. Voice texting has already been used and has been being used for years around the world through WhatsApp, and they finally just rolled it out to regular Google accounts. It's been on Google Workspace for a little while, but voice text gets so much done in a shorter amount of time. You don't have to send a phone call. The other person can check their voice text at their convenience. It doesn't have to be either answer or don't. Same with Loom. Loom is a great software platform to use to just send quick videos to show someone something. But now in regards to construction, you can just click the video button and send it to someone. Also, that really covers a lot of ground in a little amount of space. If you send a 10-second video, it can tell the other person everything they need to know instead of sending them pictures or trying to explain to them on the phone what's going on. So
yeah, that's awesome. I'm finally jumping on board on that. So I think that was a good suggestion by you for sure. So our number 6 item actually is staying in the role of quarterback. So that means don't do the heavy lift, right? So the heavy lift is done by the offensive line. We're based out of Philly, New Jersey, Philly. So I mean, we have Jalen Hurts, and we had probably one of the best offensive lines there is, and we also had Saquon. So I mean, Saquon and Jalen did do some heavy lifting in the backfield, but they always credit it to the offensive line, right? And that's kind of what you have to do as a project manager as well, right? Credit your success to the contractors that are doing the heavy lifting, swinging the hammers, and know your role, right? Your role is to be the leader. Your role is to kind of manage a project. Your role is to solve problems. So one of the examples I have is from our personal experience. And everybody says the word don't swing hammers, right? And hammers is one thing, right? Framing a house, like a lot of investors aren't going to frame the house, but a lot of investors will bring their tool bag. Will take, and this is the biggest pet peeve for me, take the blue things. I don't even know what to call it, but the blue protection, blue film off of appliances. That takes 15 to 30 minutes, right? And I hated doing that. So when we implemented our checklist, made sure that contractors knew that the blue film was supposed to be taken off of appliances. That task, that role was eliminated for me. I was no longer swinging the hammers or taking the blue film off, right? I was solely project managing. I was solely quarterbacking, if you will, right? So just making sure that you stay in that role no matter what. And sometimes it is just easier pulling the blue film off, right? But your role is not that. Your role is to make sure that the overall project gets done timely and as most efficiently as possible.
Yeah, well said, Irfan. And yeah, I mean, if you may be running a construction business right now and saying, well, I think I do all these things, but it's kind of chaotic. Well, just call us, send us a DM on Instagram, send us a message or whatever. We can just meet up with you via call and you can just run us through your day to day and we can help you organize it, right? Implement software, or even if it's just a few tips for how to run the business smoother. Maybe you need to get a part-time person or whatever. We can definitely help in all those areas. And we've done it before and we will do it for a lot of contractors in the future. So we're here to help.
Awesome. Yeah. Just to add to that, I mean, it could be as easy as setting up a checklist for somebody or helping set up a checklist to as cumbersome as setting up Builder Trend, right? So across the board, don't be scared to reach out and we'll figure out a way to help out.
All right. Well, that's a good place to end it. Thanks, Irfan. And until next time, my friend.
All right. Thank you, Alex. Talk soon.
All right.